So Polk was founded by three friends in Baltimore, Maryland. In 1972, they had this idea of how do I bring the concert, the live experience into the home? And the challenge that they had was that in that day, they had to have big, expensive speakers to do that. And they wanted to bring that experience in such a way that it was accessible to everybody. So that meant making speakers that would fit in somebody's home, that were affordable, and that also you didn't have to be an audiophile or an expert to be able to experience them the way you would want to. Throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s, what they've continued to do was take that original vision of bringing great sound into the home, and they brought it to the consumer in a lot of different ways, whether it was through traditional speakers, or it could be through garden speakers, or through sound bars. But that original idea of great sound that's accessible to all has been one of the tenets that has made the Polk brand what it is today. One of the challenges with a 45-year-old brand is to keep it fresh and to make sure that it's still relevant to that consumer. And as Polk has changed over time, and it's entered in new product categories, whether it was originally just floor standing speakers, now we're in sound bars, outdoor, subwoofers, in ceiling, how do you remain relevant? It keeps going back to this whole primary purpose of delivering great sound that's easy to set up and is accessible to all. So one of the challenges from the Polk brand, though, is to make sure that we keep true to that. So you'll notice there's a level of consistency, always talking about great sound, but never in the form of an audiophile, but always in the form of a consumer and that consumer experience. We also wanted to make sure that as new technologies come into the marketplace, where the speaker is the central role for enabling the consumer to enjoy those technologies, such as voice control, which you're seeing with Alexa and the Google Assistant at this point. One of the things we want to do is make sure, again, we go back to, are you going to get great sound? Is it easy to set up? Is it accessible? And making sure that the Polk brand is relevant to the consumer, but still delivering on its promise. To deliver on a great consumer experience, it takes a team effort. So I look at my role is making sure that Polk continually delivers on its promise of great sound. And to do that, the brand is at the center with that consumer experience. Think of it as a hub, and the spokes of the wheel include the engineers that create great product. We have to have the procurement and supply chain people make sure that the product's in the marketplace at the right time so the consumer can buy it. And ultimately, the sales and marketing organization need to be there to make sure that our dealers understand what it is that they're selling and that the consumer understands what its value and what its benefit is. So collectively, everybody works towards a common goal of delivering a great consumer experience, but it takes a large team to do that, singularly focused on great sound, accessible to all. When we develop products, we always want to make sure that we're delivering the best performance at that price point, and then we also want to make sure that we are supporting the consumer in how they want to consume content. We never want to be in a position that says, you have to work the way we work. We want to make sure that we are always supporting them in how they want to enjoy their music or their movies or their television or whatever content is that they have in mind. For me, that's the greatest enjoyment, is not only bringing new product and new innovation, but then watching the experience that that consumer has for the first time when they listen to a Polk product and they hear something new and unique and it's wonderful and their face lights up and they get this bright smile and they're like, wow, I didn't know I could hear this before. I think I've got one of the best jobs in the world because I get to build and work with people that builds products that have an emotional response when somebody listens to it, and I get to touch all aspects of the business, and so I thoroughly enjoy that.